Hi, my name is Doc Livingston with Team Homeowners BC and eXp Realty. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Doc. Today, my special guest is Gloria Cooper, a mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Frontline Mortgages. Welcome, Gloria.
Thanks for having me, Doc.
As a realtor, one of the issues that comes up frequently is availability of deposits on subject removal day and the rest of the funds available for completion. You know, when a buyer has an accepted offer on a home, there is usually a 5 to 8 day period for removal of subjects, like subject to financing, subject to inspection, and so on. And you know, when those subjects are removed on subject removal day, the buyer must have their deposit ready. Quite often, that isn't the case, usually because they didn't make the proper arrangements to have that money available. So Gloria, once the subjects are being removed and they don't have their money yet, what happens?
You're scrambling is what happens. So I like to let my clients know before they list their home, they need to make sure that they have those funds available. Because if their home is listed for sale or it has been sold, a lot of banks and credit unions will not lend on that. Clients think they will and they don't. You can obtain funds, but it will be at a higher rate and most likely there will be a fee. So I always try and let them have that prepared in advance.
So what if they have their money in an RSP or some other kind of fund?
So clients also are unaware that there can be a time delay with obtaining those funds. If your cash is sitting in a savings account with a bank or a credit union, it can be quite easy to go in and get it that day. Mutual funds and stocks are different, and virtual banks are different, such as if your RSPs are sitting at Sun Life or Tangerine. There can be a time delay in having those funds transferred over. If you're looking at accessing funds through an employee savings program, stock options, that sort of thing, a lot of clients are not aware that there could be set dates as to when those sales take place. So you might be waiting up to 2 weeks. So you want to make sure well in advance that you research that. And rule of thumb that I tell my clients is have that money in your account where you can get a draft real quick 3 days before you need it. So if you have a 5-day subject removal period, have it on the second day because you can always put it back in. If you're having subject removal, or not subject removal, but completion on the 30th, have that money on the 27th or the 26th because you can always put it back in.
Well, you know, it kind of makes sense. I know that if for some reason they can't pay their deposit on subject removal day, and those were the arrangements that were made, they could lose their purchase.
That has happened.
And they could even get sued by the seller.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you've got your money available. So what else would be important there, Gloria?
It's a lot of clients are also trying to, time it to the last minute. They think the stock market might go up a little bit more, or they just want those couple extra days of interest. It isn't worth the risk. Especially if you're in stocks, if you're looking at purchasing and you're going to be using a majority of that money, you can't afford a downturn in the market. So you want to be able to access those funds, have them in lower risk funds, and just talk to your advisor and find out what the timeline is in getting that money into your account so you can get that draft when you need it.
I'm smiling because one thing that I run into occasionally is somebody is fully pre-approved. They make their deposit and then they go to the brick the next day and they buy a whole house full of furniture on credit. And what happens then, Gloria?
Don't do that. The lenders do have it written in their contracts that they can do a review. They can withdraw funding at any time based on fraudulent information or anything that's serious. So if someone goes out and buys a car and all of a sudden their application has a $600 a month payment, they don't qualify anymore. So I always tell my clients, do not do anything that can impact your credit, buying a car, applying for a credit card, buying furniture, using up the funds in the line of credit when there was a lower balance. Do not do anything until you have those keys in your hand.
That makes perfect sense. And the real downside to that is if on completion date you do not have the money available and you can't get it, you will lose your deposit. And again, you may get sued by the seller. So you don't ever want to put yourself in that position.
Absolutely.
So For any more information on mortgages and down payments and deposits and so on, please give Gloria a call directly. She would love to answer your questions. Again, Gloria, thank you so much
Thank you for having me.
for joining us today. It was great.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
So there it is. Goodbye for now. This is Doc Livingston. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.